Are you ready? Because I have the ultimate guide to taking your toddler to Disney World. I am so excited. I've been working on this for a while. I asked you guys on Instagram, what do you want to know? Disney Mom Laura Instagram account, check it out. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna see how far I can get through it. It's a lot, and I am so excited to give you all my tips and tricks. Look at this Target dress. What? I did a little knot action. Excuse the house slippers. I googled toddler, so it's 1 to 3 years old apparently is what toddler is. We took our daughter, who just recently turned 3, for her first birthday. So between 1 and 3, she has gone 7 times. She is our only child, and we live just outside of Philadelphia. So we usually fly nonstop from Philly to Orlando, MCO, which is usually just over 2 hours. And then we take Magical Express, and we always stay on property, and that's what we've done. We have gone with my husband, and usually we do fancier trips, longer trips with him. I have family in Florida, so I have had sisters, nieces, and nephews meet me there and without my husband, and I'll usually stay at a moderate or a value and just make those shorter trips and fly solo with her as well. So let's start with, is it worth it? Because I feel like a lot of people say no, yes, and I think that also depends if you have other kids or not. As someone with an only child, just one daughter, yes. We are huge Disney fans. I have gone to Disney so many times. We lived in Miami for 3 years. We would go like 4 times a year probably when we lived in Miami. I went growing up with my family and my sisters. So I love it. So to share the magic with her, it's a magical place for me. It was a special place with my mom and I and my sisters, and my mom's passed away. So, and she never got to meet my daughter. So it's a, you know, it's kind of a connection for me in that way as well. If you're under 3 years old, they go for free in the parks. Do you not get as much done? Yes, totally. It's a slower paced. You don't ride as much. You don't do as much. But you still have the magic, and you get to pick and choose, you know, what kind of magic you want to have on a slower pace. The other thing is that any characters and character buffets, they're also free. So like Garden Girl is one of our favorites. We didn't have to pay for her. She just ate like our food. Tusker House, wasn't a big fan. She got to eat all that food for free. So I think it's totally worth it for the magic. It's free for them. And it's just a great vacation if you're gonna go on a vacation for kids, any kids of any age. Beach vacation's also nice, I think, but you know, if you're looking for a more, a less like relaxed sort of pace vacation and you love Disney, yes, it's worth it. Number 1 is prep and packing. I have a full in-depth packing for Disney video. It is a solo trip that I took with my daughter. I need to do one when I'm traveling with my husband, which means like I need to book another trip. I need the annual passes to come back. What I do is I have a big carry-on, and then that becomes the stroller bag, and then I use my Loungefly for valuables to take on rides and walk around the park with, and then the big bag doesn't have any valuables, and that stays in the stroller. I also have a bunch of stroller videos, Disney videos. We just got a new one. It hasn't been tested out at Disney yet, but we use the baby jogger, and I will link those videos below as well. First thing is download the Disney app if you haven't done that. So some things you might need to ask Disney for if you are traveling with a toddler. You can ask for a crib or a pack and play, and in my experience they give you a nicer crib in the nicer resorts like the deluxe, and then in value like the Pop Century we had a pack and play. So until she was 18 months old, she slept on her own in the crib or pack and play. And then we started co-sleeping with her, which we've never done. The only time we do that is on vacation after she was probably around when she hit 2. That's when we started co-sleeping. We get a king bed and co-sleep with her. So you can get a bed rail. I didn't need it for when my husband and I were co-sleeping because we were on either side. But with our solo trips, you know, I would get like 2 queen beds usually, so I would get a bed rail on the side. The other thing I did for, especially when she was a younger toddler, was ask for a high chair to be brought to the room, and they were happy to accommodate that as well. You know, they have those tables so you can go down and get breakfast, and then they can eat at the high chair while you get ready. So you definitely want to call your hotel a week before just to ask for those and make sure like you have a request in. The other request that I make, and I've had issues with Disney on this, is I prefer having a bathtub. Like showering is slippery for her, and she's fallen in showers before in hotels, even when I've like had a hand on her. Disney has been doing this thing where they're putting in showers and finding it more difficult to get bathtubs. So put in a request if that is something you like. The other thing that I prefer is usually a ground floor, especially in like a value where there's no view or anything. Request a ground floor, so that way if you have a stroller, you don't have to deal with elevators. So I know a lot of people, especially if they have a lot of kids, they will have Amazon or Publix or something be delivered to the resort. I think Disney charges for like per package or something as well on top of that. I don't personally do that. I pack diapers and snacks in the suitcases, and that way we have room for souvenirs to bring home. One of the first trips I brought the baby carrier. I never used it, not once, so I never brought it again. Maybe if you have other kids and you want to be more hands-free, but my husband basically carried her through the line, and we always did fast passes, which I know during COVID they're not available right now. Hopefully they come back. But we always did fast passes, and usually we would just do like 3 rides a day with her unless there was a short line. So we just never waited in long lines with her. And you know, in my like type A personality, I was like worried like she would fall out of Small World or something. Safe, it's fine, just hold on to your baby. So I didn't personally need it. It might be something you feel like it's worth to bring and take up room in your stroller, but that was my experience with it. So around 2, she started loving wearing foo-foo fancy dresses. Let them wear the foo-foo fancy dresses. My husband's like, no, I want her to be comfortable, and she would point out all the little girls with the dresses and talk about the princess dresses. So I was like, yeah, you were wrong. So all other trip from then, like I bring a backup shorts and t-shirt in our stroller bag, but she wears the big princess dresses. And side note, if you do have a fan, there is I think it's a crystal store in Germany in Epcot, and we got her this beautiful tiara. I think it was like 30 bucks. And she loves it. And I bought her sort of like the one on Shop Disney, like the Cinderella crown and mattress Cinderella dress. It fell apart real quick, and this has withstood it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I recommend the tiara if you have a princess fan. And then something else that I talked about in my pack with me video I just wanted to mention is I try to coordinate her colors in her outfit. So I'll do like black and red sort of vibe, or pink and blue. Hi, hon.
Hello.
Number 2, airplane. Take a picture of where you park in the airport. Do non-stop flights. Gate check your stroller. That way you're hands-free and you have a toddler in control throughout the airport, because you can be there for a long time, especially if you do Magical Express. They pick you up like 3 hours before your flight. I already covered this, but we do iPad with a movie, on the plane, snack. She always has a diaper on, and I didn't think I would do this. She was potty trained around 2, but I left a diaper on her for the whole trip. Yeah, mostly through the whole trip. It would stay dry. It was a pull-up, so we use it as undies, but that way I just wouldn't have to stress if she peed her stroller or she had to go pee, like when we were in line or on a ride. So she would regress when we got home for a couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days, but we would get her back on track. To me, it was worth it for the no stress. So on a plane, she has her diaper on, and I would always go to the bathroom in an over 2-hour flight, and I would take her, and that's just a fun little activity for toddlers. And as far as diapers, I like the 360 fit, so they're very flexible and they go on and off. I love the Honest sanitizer wipes for the toilet. So in one of my like videos, I found this like portable toilet seat that folded in 4, and I took it on one trip. I really didn't use it, so I just wiped down everything really good with the sanitizer and plop her on. I don't use diapers on other vacations. It's just Disney, because you're just so on the go and you're out and about and you have to maximize your time. We're like commando in the park. So beach vacations, things like that, we don't do diapers. So I know this is the last year, 2021, for Magical Express. I think they're still gonna be offering it, but maybe you have to pay for it. But one of the things that I like is that you don't need a car seat if you stay on property. They don't allow car seats on Magical Express, so that's just one less thing you need to bring, because you have Disney buses and Disney transportation. You're in the Disney bubble. So if you take Magical Express, you really don't need a car seat. Number 3, the room. So like I said, after 2 years old, we would co-sleep, so we would request a king bed. But before that, when she was in her crib, I would request a large balcony, and we would bring the monitor. So my husband would kind of rig the monitor up and tie it with some sort of weird knot or something on the camera on the crib, and then we would have the monitor out on the balcony, because you know she would be going to bed so early as a 12, 13, 18-month-old toddler. So we would take the monitor, take some wine, sit out on the balcony and enjoy ourselves and be able to watch her while she sleeps. After that, you know, she could have longer naps in the stroller in the park and stay up later. So we didn't bring a monitor after, once we were co-sleeping. We would just go to bed early with her or keep her up late if we wanted to. One of the first things I do when I arrive is they usually, I think all the rooms at Disney have a little mini fridge, so get milk for her for the morning, and also a bunch of water for the room as well, because it's Florida, it's hot, you need to hydrate. Like I said, there are sort of no rules on vacation, so we do Disney Junior in the room pretty much whenever we're in the room, which isn't very much. So she gets to chill. We don't usually eat breakfast, so I usually bring snacks and pouches, and she'll have that, or we'll go down to the quick service and get like some food that she can eat on the bed. I'll put a towel down and she can watch Disney Junior, or when she was younger, in a high chair at the table. In the rare case we were in the room, I always have those mess-free coloring books as well to kind of keep her entertained. Which ones are my favorite resorts? I think my ultimate favorite resort is the Yacht Club, and we would always stay there. But now that we had a kid, I think I prefer the Beach Club more. I think it's a little more family-friendly vibe. They have more bathtubs, I think, and it's closer to Epcot. That was her first trip, actually. We stayed at the Beach Club, and we have stayed there twice at the Yacht Club as well with her. Either one is great, but those are two of our favorite. For locations, you can walk to Hollywood Studios, walk to Epcot, which is right there, and there's also boat transportation. So those are probably our favorite resorts to stay at. If you're looking for a monorail resort, you think you're gonna be like heavy at Magic Kingdom, I've never stayed at the Contemporary. It doesn't appeal to me, like the pool, the vibe of it, the theming. I like a more like themed resort. So it just has never appealed to me. We've stayed at the Grand Floridian. It's very nice, but it's not my favorite. Polynesian is my favorite. Like if we go again, I really want to stay at the Polynesian, especially with the Moana rooms. The theming is so immersive. I mean, it's just, and the pool's amazing. Trader Sam's. I love the Polynesian. It's very expensive, but I do love it. And then I would say the third one that I absolutely love, and it is sort of a place where my mom and I would stay there a lot, and it was sort of our special place with my sisters, is the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I mean, to have animals right outside your balcony, the theming, like I've never been to Africa, but it feels like you're in Africa, like listening to their accents, because most of the people who work there are from Africa. The food, Chico, Mara, Boma. One of my first times we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, it just opened with my sister. And we ate dinner at Boma. It just opened. And it was if you don't know, it's a huge buffet with African foods. And the breakfast is amazing too. I was like going down the buffet line and I asked if something was vegetarian, because I'm a vegetarian. And then out of nowhere, the chef comes out with this stunningly beautiful like vegetarian dish with tofu, and it had like, I don't know, banana leaves coming out of it. This was a long time ago, but I was just like, I love Disney. It's a very special place, but the big problem is the transportation. You have to take buses everywhere, and it's sort of far out by itself. So I think we would stay there every time if it was like on the monorail or walkable to like 2 parks. But we don't go there as much because it's a pain to get to the parks, especially now that we have a stroller and a kid. The resort pools are amazing, even the value resort, so make sure you have time for that. Don't make sure. A lot of times we don't have time for it, and it's okay. They're usually very crowded, but if that's something that you really want to do, it helps them get their energy out, and they're amazing, especially the Yacht and the Beach Club, any of the deluxe ones, but even the value ones are really cool. And you don't have to worry about like any life jackets or anything. They provide towels and life jackets, so less things to bring. And they usually have like entertainment during the day, like little DJs and trivia and like pool parties, activities you can do, like tie-dye by the pool. She was too young, but like I really wish I had made like Mickey tie-dye shirts. So that for sure is something you should check out, especially if you have like probably older kids as well. They'll love it as well. Number 4, the parks. Let's get into it. Every park, if you don't know, has a baby center. They are so nice. There's one in each of the main parks. We don't go to the water parks at all really, so I don't know about those. If I was near one, I would always go in there to have her use the bathroom. At the end of the trip, if we have a long trip, I would run out of pouches. They are expensive, but you can get some pouches if you just need like something quick in the park where you don't want to stop and have a whole meal. They have puffs, they have bibs, they have like a baby essentials. But I think the nicest thing is if you have to change, especially like a poopy diaper, the little changing areas are amazing. And most of the bathrooms are pretty nice. You know, it's very rare that you have to have like the pull down changing thing. Like usually you have like a whole little square in Disney where you can change your kid, your diaper. But this one is so nice. It's so clean. It's like comfortable and padded and huge, like doctor bed covers that, and they come in after you and clean it up. When she was a young toddler, I don't remember, maybe it was our first trip to Magic Kingdom, I fed her in the high chair in there. So in the Magic Kingdom Baby Center, they have high chairs set up, and I think Disney, some sort of cartoons going. And they have nursing rooms, and in the Magic Kingdom one, they actually have the toilet with a tot seat, so a smaller seat that folds down. So just really nice. Make sure you check those out at all of the parks if you're going and you haven't seen them before. And it's a great resource for babies and also toddlers. We went to the parks a lot as dinks, double income, no kids. We would commando, we would have lots of adult beverages, we would get it all done. We would usually go to Magic Kingdom in the morning and then always end up at Epcot every night. So it is definitely a different experience if it's your first time taking a kid to Disney. It is slower paced, but I love it because I feel like it's a different way to see Disney. Like there's so many times that we have her in the stroller and trying to get her to take a nap, or she is in a nap, and I just, especially as a young toddler, I wanted to keep it going, the stroller going, or just walk around the parks and look at stuff and go slow. And So it's definitely a slower pace. So embrace that and enjoy it and try not to get everything done. You need to definitely find time to let them run around and get their energy out. And there are different places in all the parks to do that. Magic Kingdom, like in front of the castle, it's called the Hub Grass. That's a great place. Over in, I think the splash pads are not open, but they do have splash pads in the parks. The big tent souvenir place, and there's some characters that used to go back there. That's a really quiet place, so oftentimes we would go get a snack. There was like cookies in that big top souvenir, and let her nap in the very corner. There were these tables. It was nice and quiet and shaded with umbrellas. But yeah, there's a splash pad there as well. So those are our two favorite in Magic Kingdom for her to get out and run around. In Epcot, there is a playground. Again, don't know if it's open right now during COVID, but in between the test track and mouse gears, there's a really nice playground, and we did child swap one time and did test track. So she played in that for a long time and had the best time. And also just letting them get out and walk around if it's not a busy area with a lot of people, and like push the stroller. That's always a good thing to do, to let them get some time out of the stroller and run around. In Animal Kingdom, so underneath the Tree of Life, there's all of these trails. I feel like most people don't know about it. It's so nice, very shaded, very pretty. And you can see like all the carvings in the tree. So you can let them out there and sort of run around. In Asia and Africa, in Animal Kingdom, in the back, there are a bunch of animal trails. There's 2 animal trails. So they're usually not very busy, and they're amazing animals back there. Tigers and birds. Well, I got pooped on there. In Asia, and then like gorillas, hippos. In Africa, like amazing animals to see, not very busy, and you can let them out of the stroller there. Also in Animal Kingdom, there's the affection station. Is that what it's called? Affection station. And there's a petting zoo. So you get on a train. It was actually her very first train ride, was going over to Affection Station. And they have this awesome petting zoo, a good place for them to run around and see animals. Hollywood Studios Disney Junior Dance Party. It's adorable. They all dance around. It's wild energy in there. And yeah, definitely do that if you have a toddler. Oh, and parents get to sit, and there's lots of air conditioning. And then next to the Disney Junior is the Star Wars Launch Bay. Again, very air conditioned and usually not very busy, and a good place to let the kids run around in air conditioning. You can like go in and take like a snack or a drink and cool down. I have a whole Disney stroller video, so I will link that below to check out everything I like organize and what I do with her stroller, so I won't go too much into that here. But we always get her a plush on her trip, and she is not into stuffed animals, but she loves her Disney plushes. We had a little toy strap that goes on her stroller, and she would snuggle with it when she would sleep, and it would be always something that we would get every trip. I think she got more than one some trips. So she was like on Elsa Olaf, the Fab Five. Some of our favorite rides that we love. So Magic Kingdom, she can ride like everything. If you want a picture of your toddler on Haunted Mansion, do it when they're young and they don't know what's going on, and also on Pirates, because as she got older, she was afraid of both of those. They're very dark rides. We love Small World. I think that's probably one of our favorites in Magic Kingdom. Dumbo's fun. Aladdin Magic Carpet Ride is really fun. The carousel, she loves the carousel. She loves the Little Mermaid ride. So most rides are very toddler friendly, and you can probably do 2 days just to get all the rides done in Magic Kingdom. Epcot, I feel like Epcot gets a bad rap for toddlers and kids. I think Epcot might even be it's our favorite park, but I think it might even be her favorite park. She can ride the Nemo ride like 5 times in a row probably. So you have like the Nemo ride, and then when you exit the Nemo ride, you have like the manatees and the dolphins and like the aquarium. It's like a whole aquarium, and you can spend so much time in there. Living with the Land we love, a boat ride. You learn about like greenhouses and plants and it's very educational and they're like nice rides. She loves the country movies. On her first trip, she was probably because we didn't let her watch any movies, but she was totally in awe of that stupid French movie from like the 80s in France. She loves the China movie. She loves the Canada movie, but probably because my sister and I are so silly in that it's like our thing. We are goofballs in the Canada movie. Canada. Here we go. Canada. Frozen, of course. She's probably ridden Frozen like 20 times. We probably, when it was we could park hop, I think we would ride it every day. Like we would always get a fast pass for that because she loves it. The Mexican boat ride, I mean Spaceship Earth, there's a lot in Epcot, but Frozen and Nemo I think are her two favorite. Animal Kingdom, what is she? So she likes the Navi River in Animal Kingdom, but I think our favorite is the safari. How could it not be? It's different every time. It's so educational. She knows what an okapi is. I didn't know what an okapi is at her age. I didn't know what an okapi was till Animal Kingdom opened up. And then in that little gift shop in the front of Tree of Life, they actually sold the little figurine that has an okapi. So she has that. Like she knows what an okapi is from Animal Kingdom. It's so educational. I think they're macaws in the front. They have a bird show where the macaws fly around. I feel like Hollywood Studios is the least toddler friendly. It's a very small, crowded park, and it's really busy right now because of Toy Story Land and also because of Galaxy's Edge. There is lots to do for toddlers. There's like the Frozen show, which we really like. She really likes the dance party. Vampirina's there. That's like her favorite character, I think. So she got to meet Vampirina, and then Vampirina's in that Disney Junior dance party. What am I missing? Oh, she likes the alien swirling saucers. I would say that's probably her favorite ride. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We've only ridden that once though, because it just came out. My favorite time to go of the year is early December. You get all of the magic of Disney parks decorated for Christmas, and it's very low crowds and also good, cool weather. So that's probably my favorite time to go. If you have flexibility, like you don't have kids in school and you want to go during a low time, I recommend touring plans. They have like a crowd calendar. I think it's like $10 a month. It's been a while since I've gotten it. But check them out and they give you an estimate of crowd levels each day in each park, so you can plan it out of how to hit parks at its lowest point. If characters is your thing, it's your toddler's thing, bring a conversation piece that the character can talk to them about. When Landon was, I think she was 14 months old when I was there by myself and we went to go meet Anna Elsa again, which she loved it even at that age. She was sort of like amazed by them. But this little boy who was probably closer to 3 years old had like a dinosaur, and Elsa sat with him, and I mean it was kind of annoying for me because I had to wait in line, but I bet she spent like 8 to 10 minutes with this little boy and sat with him on the floor and talked about like dinosaurs and all these things. So if that's your deal, bring something cool like that where the characters can engage your kid without like being too direct at them, and then they have something to talk about. I thought that was like one of like, you know, the Disney magic things that happened. The shows for toddlers. The Move It, Shake It show at Magic Kingdom is my favorite. It's like a dance party out in the street in the hub in front of Magic Kingdom. I think I said the Disney Junior Dance Party, of course, and then also any of like the Broadway shows, if whatever they like. The Nemo, the Lion King is amazing, and Beauty and the Beast if they like princess. I feel like they do a good job of making it appealing to young kids, and also they're not too long. When she was an older toddler, we have not had fireworks in our last 3 or 4 trips because of COVID. But when she was young, I was surprised. She really, really liked the fireworks. We had a bad experience on New Year's Eve in the Magic Kingdom. For some reason, they were very, very loud, and she got really upset. And then when we got on the bus, a lot of the people also complained how loud the fireworks show was. So as far as napping, she doesn't do well napping in new areas and new situations like hotel rooms. So I don't know. It was very rare if we ever did go back for naps, so we nap on the go. So having like a nap setup in the stroller was something I put a lot of effort into. We had the baby jogger, which was like a cave she could sleep in. A white noise machine is a must, and we got this little tag with her name on it from Magic Kingdom on her first trip, and my husband was able to rig it up in like the snaps of the stroller hood for the white noise machine because she was playing with it. So during naps, doing single rider lines is really good if you are by yourself with your kid, or if you are with a group. If you don't know what child swap is, definitely look it up. So if you're with a bigger group, like we traveled with my sisters and nieces and nephews, and basically the whole group can ride twice except for one person. So what it really worked well for was Rise of the Resistance, like the best ride ever in Galaxy's Edge. And so I would wait in line with like my family, and Phil, my husband, would be with her while she napped, like walking around to keep her asleep. And then when we got off, Phil would go on with everyone else, and people got to ride it twice. So sometimes my sister would take her and I'd be able to ride it twice, which happened with Rise of the Resistance. So that would be my tip. If you're by yourself, go to single rider lines, and then do child swap if you have more than 2 people. Oh, and don't forget a rain cover for your stroller. And when you park your stroller, check the radar. And if you're gonna be a long time, like you're going into like the Soarin' Living with the Land Pavilion, just put the rain cover on. It's Florida. As far as restaurants, our daughter is really pretty good in restaurants. Some tips I have for that. We eat a lot. We love restaurants at Disney, so we don't do a lot of quick service. We do sit down meals. So I do disposable everything, disposable placemats, disposable bibs, wiping disposable, everything disposable. It just makes it easier, less things to clean up. Something for the room too, I get OXO has a little washing kit for sippy cups, so that always goes with me as well, and every night I wash up her Yeti and sippy cups. But back to restaurants, I'm not a big fan of buffets. One reason is because I'm a vegetarian, so it's usually not worth the price and the variety. It's, you know, mostly caters to people who eat meat. But the reason I don't like it with a toddler is because it's too chaotic and hectic, and then on top of that, if you have characters like at Tusker House, I just did not enjoy the experience at all. I think with COVID that has changed, and it might, who knows what the future holds, but character buffet meals are a big no for me. They're too stressful. Like, there's characters coming by, one person has to take care of the kid while the other one goes up and gets food for the kid and for you, and you're back and forth at the buffet, and the characters are coming. So it was just too much for me. I don't like those. I prefer like Garden Grill, which is one of my favorite places. You get the characters and the food comes to you, and it's sort of family style. I've never eaten at Ohana, but that is like a similar situation. I think for breakfast they have characters and it's family style. I don't mind the buffet in Germany and Epcot because they have like a silly show. It's not characters, and you can go back and forth and get your food. That's not as bad. Yeah, so I say no to buffets if you have kids and toddlers. Number 5 is traveling home. I love Zaza's in the airport at Orlando Airport. So like I said, if you take Magical Express, you have a lot of time. Usually I try to get her asleep and have a nap before the airplane, especially when she was younger. Probably don't anymore, because usually we fly out around noon. We try to. But Zaza's is this Cuban restaurant. Everyone who works there is so nice. They have the most amazing coffee. They have these vegetarian bean, almost like Chipotle bowls, but Cuban bowls. Love them. Their pastries are good. I look forward to like, you know, going home is so hard for any vacation, but especially Disney. I look forward to Zaza's. Some things I do actually before I leave, like when I go grocery shopping right before I know we're about to go on vacation, I'll stock up on things that I know will last a long time, like have a longer expiration date. So I'll get an extra thing of half and half fruit that stays well, freeze-dried fruit, things like that. So if for some reason I can't go to the store, like I know I have some things there to get us through, like snacks and having coffee and things like that. When my husband drives, a lot of times I will order like delivery service for groceries. So you can work on it while you're in the airport in Orlando waiting for your flight, you know, add things to the cart, and then when we land and he's driving, I'll like finalize it and order, and then that way you have groceries delivered. So one thing I like to do, especially when my husband is traveling with us and we have usually 2 checked bags. Actually, last time we took 3 checked bags. I will take one of the bags and put things in it like toiletry and any like clean clothes that you don't think need to be washed. And that way when you come home, like all that stuff goes upstairs, and then the rest of it is like dirty clothes and things that need to be either put away or things you don't need right away, and they can go straight into the laundry room and dealt with over the next thousands of years that takes to do laundry after a trip. One of the questions that came up on Instagram was like if you've never flown or taken your kid to Disney. My best tip, my best advice is to say, you've got this. The thing that I would tell myself in all my trips, especially the ones where I'm flying without my husband, my pack mule, also like my emotional support, what's the worst that could happen? She freaks out, some people are inconvenienced. Well, I should say that I don't think my daughter ever freaked out on the airplane. She's freaked out though on the Magical Express from not sleeping. I think it was our very first trip. Cue the clip.
You guys, let's hear you guys. Welcome to the most magical place on earth, Walt Disney World. Yay! Do your part, Landon. Yay!
Do you remember any time that Landon had a meltdown at Disney or on the plane?
Disney.
I don't think she did. She did under the like "Welcome to Disney" sign on her very first
bus
trip.
ride.
Yeah, as we were going under the sign.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah, I don't remember her having any though in the park. Oh, I know what the other tantrum was. It was our solo trip with my sister, and we were at Epcot, and I was by myself with her, and we had ridden like the Phoenicians, Spaceship Earth. And it was probably like pushing it, like she needed a nap, and it was, you know, late afternoon, she was tired, and we get off Spaceship Earth and she loses it. And this is during COVID, so all of the stuff was shut down right as you walk off the ride, like where the games usually are. And it was air conditioned, and I sat on a bench and she threw herself on the ground and I just let her go at it, and everyone was exiting the ride just sort of like laughing, a lot of nodding, like I've been there. So, and she got through it, and then we went and had a great day, and she had a nap. She, you know, if she does have a freak out, you just need to be there for her. And then most of the people on the plane have gone through it before, and you're never gonna see these people again. So that's my advice for worrying about freakouts. The other advice, have snacks. We don't do a lot of screen time, so when she gets on a plane and when we're on vacation, she gets her iPad, she gets to watch movies, so she's so engrossed in it. That's been our rule throughout the 2 years, I guess, of traveling with her. So she, you know, there's no rules on vacation. She gets to eat whatever she wants, and she can watch TV in the hotel room, and she gets an iPad and a movie on the airplane, because you know what, there's too much to stress about. Let her have her movie. I do understand if you're stressed out and it's your first time, or actually your 7th time. I'm type A, I'm a planner. I was very anxious the first time we were taking her. Very, very anxious. I still remember it. And it was fine. I was like, okay, she did perfect. I can't believe how perfect she did. And it gives you more confidence, and you can handle it, you know? You can handle it. If you can't, there's drugs for it to help you handle it. Klonopin. But I would say that I still get anxious, for sure. just, you know, just a general anxiety of traveling, but also general anxiety of traveling with small children. It's gonna be there. Most nights before we leave to get on the plane, I don't sleep very well. I'm sure it's because there's a million things going through my mind. And yeah, you just run like worst case scenario through your head. But it's, again, what's the worst that can happen? That's what I tell myself. Okay. Someone asked nap at the hotel. So as far as the questions, I think I answered most of it, but nap at the hotel or in the stroller, I think I answered that, but I think it depends on your kid. One trick I did have when we went on our solo trip and stayed at Pop Century, I think it was like 4 o'clock, she had it napped from travel day and we were up early. She needed to nap. We had planned to go to Disney Springs with my family that night. So she was just exploring her space, could not settle down, was in and out of bed, figured out how to get in and out of the bed with a chair. I was just so annoyed. And so I turned on the cartoons and it settled her down and got her to zone out, and she was out like real quick. She was like past the point of no return for crazy toddler sleeping. She just was wild. What is the one thing you wish you knew before going to Walt Disney World for the first time with a toddler? You know what it is? Don't stress about naps. Her first couple of trips, I was so stressed about her schedule and keeping her on her schedule and her 2 naps a day. She'll fall asleep when she wants to fall asleep. Let her have a good time. Stop stressing her out. Stop trying to make the naps happen. Let her like fall asleep and then put her back and put the white noise on when she does. So I would say if I could go back, that would be my advice to myself. I'm overwhelmed. If you're overwhelmed by everything, watch this video. Watch my packing video. Yeah, it's normal to be overwhelmed. I get so stressed out before any vacation, and then Disney adds a whole nother level of like getting organized and prepping. It's a lot of work. But is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it, especially if you just love it. Some people just love Disney, people. Like, I know people are like, no way. Why would I spend all that money to wait in line? Like, no. I think that's it. This is my ultimate guide to taking a toddler to Disney World. Be sure to check out my other videos, and if you have any other questions, let me know and I will answer as much as I can in the comments, or if you want to privately message me, you can follow me on Instagram at DisneyMomLaura. So thank you so much and enjoy your magical vacation at Disney, one of my favorite places on earth. Bye. That was a lot of work.